Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Before we get going, you want to join the private group, DAIXRP.com to join through the Patreon. Or if you'd prefer and you want to join through YouTube, you can by clicking the join button right here below all my YouTube videos. Today in the group, we're going to talk about, there's some bold XRP price predictions going on. Some I could agree with, we'll see. Before we get going, look, when the market's heating up like it is, this is the most important thing that most people don't think about with their crypto. When it comes time for the market to heat up and for people to start finding their targets that they want to sell out, they don't think this through enough, and you better start planning it now, because if you don't, you can find out that all this was for nothing when you can't even find the liquidity to get out. You need to have an exit strategy.
When dealing with a highly volatile asset class, such as the crypto,
the CEO of Caleb and Brown, my new partner,
currency industry, it's incredibly important to have an exit strategy. Our personal brokers are here to help you with a plan that suits your needs, and that could mean dollar cost averaging out. It could mean placing limit orders. It could mean placing stop limit orders. There are a range of strategies that can be employed. Just contact your broker, and they'll be able to help you out.
Caleb and Brown, institutional grade custody for us retail peasants, as well as you get a personal broker, and it's nice. I haven't slept this well in a long time. If you want to open an account, I made it simple. I created a domain at xrpwealth589.com. It will forward you right to this page on Caleb and Brown to click sign up today. Go for it. Then we've got this. This is look, it drives me crazy because I have kids that do nothing but stare at their phones and iPads all day, just like many of your kids. One thing that's been lost on that generation, and I try to explain it to my kids all the time, talk to them about it, and that is personal relationships. You'll never be able to replace them. You remember back in COVID when everybody had the masks on and you couldn't go anywhere and all. I've always felt like that was intentionally done. And as a breakdown, you break down personal relationships. This is so important, folks. And that's what this guy made. He's talking about XRP or Bitcoin Las Vegas and how he calls it relationship capital. And that's what XRP Las Vegas is really about. And it's for investors as well as builders and developers. There's a reason it's the largest XRP conference in the world in general, plus for builders and developers. I mean, I'm telling you, there's going to be into the thousands there. It's going to crush last year's record. Go to xrplasvegas.com to get your tickets. This thing's like 36 days away. It's coming up fast. I'm already scheduling dinner plans with people. As you know, the market blasted off yesterday. XRP is now at $2.25. This is important because money started flooding into the market. I believe early yesterday or the day before, we were at about 2.64 trillion in this market. Now we're at 2.93 trillion. Now, I covered some Scottie Pippen tweets. I'll show them to you here in a minute that are really fascinating. But I'm trying to get Scottie Pippen to come to XRP Las Vegas, and so I'm messing with him a little bit here, but I said, keep your eye on the ball, Scottie, and this is the ball, folks. This is what they're not going to tell you on CNBC or on Bloomberg, but this is the truth. On the year, XRP has blown away everything in the top 10. I think it's going to make that number look like peanuts before it's over, too. Folks, I've been telling you for a long time. This whole Bitcoin thing is a psyop to keep pumping money into the Bitcoin system. If you don't believe me, another thing I've told you is CNBC and Bloomberg are two of the propaganda media outlets who are part of it. This is a Bloomberg clip. Watch this one first. This happened early yesterday, both of them.
Stocks at a pretty good time, trading more like gold, just in time for gold to rocket higher. You can see that physical Bitcoin gold is up about 9% over the past month in April alone. That has dragged Bitcoin higher, especially in the last couple of days. The crypto is up about 6% or so. And take a look at what has happened to tech stocks. In blue, you have the NASDAQ 100 actually lower by 6.5% or so. So Bitcoin may be taking on some safe haven characteristic.
So it's decoupling from tech stocks is what she says. Then here's
Welcome
CNBC.
back. Not a lot of green on the screen today, as you know. However, you probably didn't look at Bitcoin. Tanea McKeel did, and she's here. It's up 3%. What do you make of the way that this has been trading? It's decoupled, obviously, from the NASDAQ, which was a trend for a while. How do you see it?
Something that people were looking for all month, because if you go back to earlier this month, it really was trading in line with stocks. It just was not seeing the big, pops and drops that, one, we're used to seeing out of Bitcoin, and two, it is outperforming the S&P. It has not really caught up with.
I can totally see the talking points being emailed around. Activate the Bitcoin is decoupling from stocks narrative. And I'm all for it, by the way. Now, what has triggered the markets taking off like they have? I think it's several things. I think this is one of them. Yesterday, the new SEC chairman was officially, I think, sworn in. Here he is with Trump.
A top priority of my chairmanship will be to provide a firm regulatory foundation for digital assets through a rational, coherent, and principled approach. We will work to ensure that the United States is the best and most secure place in the world to invest and to do business. So, Mr. President, again, thank you very much for your graciousness in extending such...
Okay, that's one of the things. Now, I think this is another thing. This is Kevin O'Leary talking about the U.S. trade war going on.
All that stuff on boats on the water coming from China, not coming into American ports, because right now we're at 245% tariffs. That's a complete collapse of trade, and so it's got to get resolved. And it's a game of chicken between Xi and Trump. I think it'll get resolved in the next 60 days, but I'm guessing like everybody else. And Powell's in the same boat. So it's classic that the executive, in this case Trump, would jawbone the Fed to drop rates. That's been going on since the beginning of time. The Fed's independent. The market wants the Fed to be independent. Powell's done a pretty good job. He's not going to be browbeaten by anybody. No one's going to tell him when to lower rates. That's what his mandate is. He decides with the data that comes in. And I don't think Trump's going to fire him either. It's a bad sign to the bond market to fire the Fed and replace it with somebody that's compliant with your wishes. The market's not going to like that. That's not going to be good for the stability of long-term Treasury debt in the United States.
So you got, I believe the Federal Reserve is going to lower interest rates. That's one thing you got going. This trade war is going to be resolved. You can already see the indicators. Here's one. This is the White House press secretary.
You have Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick, Ambassador Greer, NEC Director Hassett, and Peter Navarro, the entire trade team, meeting with 34 countries this week alone. We are moving at Trump speed to ensure these deals are made on behalf of the American worker and the American people.
So let's add this all up because there's more. I believe they're going to lower interest rates, which is huge for crypto. I believe that you're going to start seeing the trade dominoes. You're going to see deals start being made with all these countries. I think yesterday they announced they had one with India, I believe. You're going to see another wild card that I think you're going to see is the end of the Ukraine war. We'll get to that. Secretary Bessent claims the tariff standoff with China is unsustainable and expects the situation to de-escalate per Bloomberg. China signals openness to U.S. trade talks, but warns against continued threats. So they're going to come to the table and save face for the U.S. and China. When that happens, you'll see all markets go crazy. Then you got this. Russian President Putin offers to halt the war in Ukraine, reach peace deal with U.S. President Trump. That would be huge too. There's so many of them, and you know they're going to happen because they're going to talk and negotiate. But this one is the big one. For crypto specifically. Smoke put out final stablecoin bill passed both chambers by Q2, Q3. The stablecoin bill and the infrastructure bill, these things are going to get passed this year. Now, I'll make a prediction right now because I've been in crypto a long time. Somehow, some way, it will leak out that the deals are done when this comes closer, and crypto and probably all markets will front run this, but especially crypto. It's going to front run the actual signing of these bills. Remember what happened when XRP front ran, like right when Trump got elected, the market boomed and hit all kinds of crazy prices already. I think you're going to see a similar thing with XRP and all of crypto in the lead up to these bills actually being passed. I think that's when the real craziness. Now, who knows? Does the craziness start now? It could. Does it start next month when we're only a month or so out? But it's gonna front run it. It always does. Somebody's gonna leak out what's going on. You watch. This right here might be one of the most bullish videos you watch all day. This is I think he's one of the executive CEO. Well, there it is, right there. CEO of Ethereum. These are the guys that just started the XRP ETF. It's not a spot ETF. It's a derivatives ETF. They also said they're going to convert to a spot XRP ETF, which means you have to go out into the market and actually buy XRP for it. Okay, so and Annie's talking in here about how they've met with Ripple. The Bloomberg people, the Bloomberg Bitcoin propaganda people, they get real uncomfortable about halfway through this and they start trying to ask questions. But I mean, folks, this is so obvious. But this guy totally gets it. And he's schooling these guys. Listen to this.
We hear a lot about regulatory clarity, but what is the regulatory clarity that you want to see?
Well, I think they need to put regulatory clarity over Ripple, over the issuers of the coin, and Ripple's asking for that. Ripple's a company of really professional people working really hard on this. That's why we chose XRP. We believe in XRP. We're not making a price prediction, but we do believe it's a coin that will have the most utility out there. Bitcoin is a store of value. I agree with Mike McGlone, but I think that XRP has a true use case. There's just no doubt about it. And the Ripple team, from the interaction we've had with them, they're really professional. They act like investment bankers over there. They know.
Oh, that's the reason I started following Ripple way back in 2013. Is because I saw something I didn't see in any other digital asset.
What they're doing, and they will make this work. And we will see a different Wall Street. We will see traditional finance be merged slowly with DeFi, DeFi, yes. And then we will see DeFi take over. It'll take longer than people think. I'm convinced of it, but it will be so much more efficient. And 3 to 5 second settlement, which is what Ripple can do. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, I want to dig in specifically on the use.
Here's where they have a rough time. She just can't get her mind around it, which I don't believe. I believe they all know exactly what XRP can do versus Bitcoin, and that's why they've been told to always try to fight it.
This case that you mentioned, because a lot of folks watching probably would have the reaction, the only use case for Ripple and some of these other tokens out there is speculation. So what is the actual...
No, actually it's the opposite. The only use case for Bitcoin is speculation because it doesn't have utility. These people... I wish I could say they're clueless, but I don't think they are. I think that they've been told to toe this line.
Use case of XRP.
Okay, so XRP, that's absolutely not the case. You can speculate in it because it's out there and trading. But XRP, they started Ripple, and I'm not going to speak for them, okay? But they started Ripple to facilitate transactions, moving money around, okay? But now it's literally helping tokenize everything. As they develop their level 2 build out, they are really going to tokenize everything. They've just bought a broker-dealer clearing member, as you may know, and I think that's the first step toward integrating traditional finance with DeFi. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a breakthrough. It is a breakthrough, but it'll happen slower than people think.
Okay, I'm going to have to go into the group now because I've already made this video too long. Go to daixrp.com to join through the Patreon. Or you can click the join button below any of my YouTube videos to join through YouTube. Less than the cost of a cup of coffee. Today, I ran out of time, so I'm going to go over these wild Scottie Pippen. These are like earth-shattering Scottie Pippen tweets, even though he's probably just tweaking social media. But also, I'm going to go over some wild and crazy XRP predictions that people are saying now. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go.